right, welcome to another episode. And there's quite an interesting article that I came across, which is actually by a US congressman who says that Ripple is actually an actual cryptocurrency, unlike Libra, And in my opinion, really, lately I'm starting to feel like, apart from fine Libra, the entire cryptocurrency, the blockchain technology, how they're going to be managing it is not necessarily what blockchain was intended for, because it's basically still kind of centralized. But however, at the end of the day, Facebook is a company. It has its own strategic ways of doing whatever it is that they want to do. So I feel like lately they're just getting a lot of backlash and criticism just because of all the mistakes that they've been, facing as a company. But basically, this article is pointing out that the U.S. congressman by the name of Ted Budd, he's a Republican, or rather a member of the Republican Party. He basically pointed out that, yeah, he doesn't really buy what Libra is all about, because he feels like it's actually not a cryptocurrency. Unlike Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Ripple, he actually mentioned those three coins. So, yeah. And of course, even here on the article, it says itself that the XRP army has got another reason for joy after a US congressman from the Republican Party, Ted Budd of North Carolina, called XRP an actual cryptocurrency together with Bitcoin and ETH, naming them in the order of the market cap value. But of course, moving right along, Mark Zuckerberg says that the US may lose financial leadership if Libra is not launched, because obviously now Libra, ever since Facebook announced that they're going to have a new coin, of course the regulators and the government gave them time to pause first and not just go ahead with it, because they still need to look into the project and all of that. And basically Mark Zuckerberg is trying to urge the congressmen, or rather the lawmakers and the policymakers in the US, that they should actually, they should try and deal with this, because if not, or rather they should try and join in what Libra is intending to do. If not, then of course the US basically will lose financial leadership, because in comparison to China, the Chinese government is already working on implementing blockchain, right? And of course Facebook here has a little bit of a predicament. And of course the article further states that in particular Ted Budd, a congressman representing North Carolina state, okay, that part I already basically covered, but even someone tweeted that breaking, congressman mentions XRP, and think about how many people are listening to this comparison. I mean, that's a huge blow for people that are already trusting Facebook. And I mean, in my personal opinion, I feel like Facebook, regardless of maybe its controversy, it actually has really helped a lot of people, especially those that are really using it for what it was created for. That's to connect, right? Because I mean, I'm not even really I've never worked in Facebook, but I've heard Mark Zuckerberg say many times that Facebook is all about trying to make the world more open and connected. So already they've been connecting people, and I'm seeing blockchain, or rather the entire Libra association or the Libra project, I see it as something that's just worth deserving to be on such a trusted platform, or rather that, yeah, basically it is a trusted platform. I know there's some privacy issues that they once went into, but I think really it's apart from that, it really stood the test of time, and really has had like a huge stand in its reputation. So yeah, basically in response, Mark Zuckerberg stated that unless Libra gets support from the US government, the country's leadership in the sphere of finance is not guaranteed. And yeah, people tweeted Antonio Pompliano, a very influential person on Twitter regarding blockchain and cryptocurrency. He basically says that's basically a good point that Mark Zuckerberg is saying there, right? And of course, because of all of this news, it impacted the price of Ripple. Basically, there's now a bullish forecast. Actually, like the article says, one of the active XRP community members, CryptoBull 2020, has tweeted that he remains bullish on the price of Ripple, or rather the price of XRP, and believes that by the end of 2019, that's actually supposed to be 2019, it will hit an all-time high of $10. I don't know, but definitely one thing I can agree to is that this obviously impacted, or even further long term will impact the price of Ripple, because if a US congressman, someone so high, trusts a certain coin in terms of what it says it is, then I mean, it basically says that it's a good long-term project, or it's worthy of long-term, if that makes any sense. And of course also a prominent venture investor and a Bitcoin bull, Tim Draper, also wrote that the XRP price is about to show an explosive growth. In my opinion, definitely something will happen to the price if it hasn't already yet happened. But I mean, in my opinion, I really support Mark Zuckerberg and what he's saying regarding, that if the US government don't act up quick, they're gonna basically lose financial leadership. But yeah, and I mean, even the cover of this thing is quite funny. They made, a little bit of a funny face there over the Libra coin. But I mean, sometimes when you're trying to really do something big and, achieve a certain objective, there'll always be people around there that will pull you down. And maybe this might sound like I'm being a bit biased, but I'm not. I'm basically just pointing the fact that this man started a project in his room in university, and says he wants to make the world more open and connected. He's still furthering his missions, and of course, he's still learning as he moves along. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below, and let's have a discussion. Catch you guys again on another episode. Cheers.